Kevin McCullough.
Welcome back to Times Square. Kevin McCullough, always glad to have you with us and always thankful for those of you that help us change the world around us. It's one of the reasons why I set aside part of my platform just specifically for this. I'm grateful that God lets me speak to the people that I get to speak to on a weekly basis in terms of social media and broadcast and stream and all the rest of it. But I want to use this platform to honor him and the people that he loves as well. And Paul Jacobs is back with us from Food for the Poor. And Paul, the scripture is pretty clear, and there's probably many people watching and listening tonight that are not what they would consider biblical believers. But you just need to know, friend, if that is one of you, that the scripture is very clear that God takes very seriously how we deal with children who are poor and who are hungry. And that is one of the reasons why we've committed to, in these hot summer months, say, hey, what can we do to help alleviate the pain with some of these children that are starving to death in Haiti? And Paul Jacobs, it's a timely situation because it's really, really bad where these kids are right now.
That's exactly right. You're talking about rising food costs in our community. That is causing us to make adjustments in our daily life. But when you're talking about a community where mothers and fathers, families are earning $1 or $2 a day, or at worst, they're going to local garbage dumps where other people have thrown away trash and foraging through those piles of trash just to find their children's next meal. These are the conditions that are happening on a daily basis. Now, with anyone could watch the news and see that there has been tremendous civil unrest, but it is still causing Food for the Poor to dig deeper with our ministry partners. We are still ministering to those families. We're still going to those communities. And we need your help because, quite frankly, while a lot of lines and a lot of opportunities and travel ways and roads have been shut down, Food for the Poor still makes sure that we reach those communities in any which way we can, because regardless of what may be happening in the country, the government, or the economy, those families still need our help.
855-349-4673, 855-349-4673. Take a listen to this right here.
We walked into this wretched little shack. Inside, we saw a mother totally with her face showed every line of suffering possible of a mother who feels frustrated because she can't feed her children. She had 2 children in the shack with her. There was a 4-year-old who was actually eating a handful of rice, and the 7-year-old who was standing there looking very woefully at his little brother who was eating. And we said to the 7-year-old, "How come you're not eating also?" And he said to us, "Today, it's not my turn to eat." Can you imagine the pain on a mother to have to tell one of her children, "Today it's not your turn to eat, perhaps tomorrow"? To have that complete food insecurity where you cannot plan even one day in advance for a meal for your children. That has to break a mother's heart.
I can't see any other way around it. Angel Aloma, the former executive director at Food for the Poor, and Paul Jacobs, too many times on Food for the Poor trips, you and others have looked right into the eyes of moms who have had to make that decision.
Vida, a mother that we met, Kevin, in Kadwa, Haiti, sitting there with her 2 small children, Kenya, 3 years old, and her little brother, just about 1, sharing from a metal bowl, not a big overheaping bowl of rice, but a few grains that was left over, anything that she could to give those small children something to put in their bellies. But it was not enough. And to look her in the eyes, to see that desperation, only to find out 1 year later, the pastor in that community made sure that when resources got into Kadwa, Haiti, that she was one of the very first to make sure that she partook of the food and the nourishment and her children were able to be fed. This is the transformation. This is the change. This is the alleviation of poverty that is taking place right now when your compassion meets a phone call or a click of a mouse or says yes to children and families who have heard no for far too long in places like Haiti.
Yeah. You can give online at a website called instagood.org, instagood.org. That's insta like instant and good, instagood.org. And you can give your gift. Friends, we have a unique opportunity for the next few minutes, and that is that it costs $80 to feed a child for a year through Food for the Poor. But if you give in the next 10 minutes, your gift is going to be doubled and twice as many children are going to be helped. So if you normally give a gift of $240 and say you want to give food for 3 children for the entire year, that's, by the way, 700 plus meals each. That's more than 2,100 meals that you're providing for that $240 amount, feeding 3 kids, 2 meals a day for the next year. But right now, because of the match, that's going to turn into 6 children. So please call right now, 855-349-4673. But when that happens, the change that comes over, and Paul, speaking of our travels, I remember when we went to, I forget the name of the school, but it was one of the schools in one of the towns there in Haiti, and they had received one of the Food for the Poor clean watering systems. And if you asked any of the children at the schoolyard, you know, what does the water taste like? They get this big smile across their face and they say, "Mister, that's delicious water." And I don't know what water tasted like before, but that smile, that thankfulness, that gratitude for having water that was clean and able to be consumed was just overwhelming. And at the time, those children were being fed every day by Food for the Poor as well. And so, friends, right now, $80 will feed a child nutritious, needed food to help them survive this hot, sweltering summer in Haiti where there is not enough food. And that's a shame because there's more than enough food produced on planet Earth. We have so much food production on planet Earth that there's enough for more than 4.5 pounds worth of food to be consumed by every human being, infant to senior citizen. But the fact that there are children in Haiti and in some of the Caribbean and Latin American countries that do not have even enough to survive, that's unacceptable. And that's why it is so vital that right now you join us and make this gift. 855-349-4673. And for the next 10 minutes, every gift given is going to be matched. 855-349-4673, 855-349-4673.
Ready or not, we'll be right back.